as the manager was checking all these notes, and she suddenly says, yeah, all that 290 quid is real.
Oh.
And I went, what? Hello and welcome to the first We Make It Happen podcast, a podcast designed for people within the events and entertainment industry, delving into the funny and maybe the not so funny aspects of all our lives. We started this really well. I've fluffed the intro. Christy's already laughing. To the right of me, I was just about to smoothly introduce you. To the right of me is Chris Sticks. I have to be careful on how I say that because I keep getting it wrong.
I've already told you off like 4 times now. Chris Sticks. You got me saying it wrong. Chris Sticks, like Christy, not Chris Sticks.
But I was saying earlier that Chris Sticks makes sense in my brain because you're playing the percussion and you're holding the sticks.
That's why the sticks is there, but the entire emphasis isn't on the sticks. The emphasis is on me.
The emphasis is, so it's Chris Sticks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much that.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So we will start as we mean to carry on.
Smoothly,
of course. Okay. So who are we? Well, my name is Callum. My stage name is Sweet on Sax.
Sweet on sax.
Sweet on Sax, yes. And you are?
My name is Christy. I can't even say it now. Christy or Christix Drumming, stage name. That's me. So, yeah, I'm a drummer. I'm in the same industry as Callum, and we perform at events all around the UK, around the world. Anywhere you want us, we'll go, really.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, as musicians, how we got started. How did you get started? How did you become the formidable Chris Sticks?
The formidable.
The formidable.
I'm putting that on my CV. I have been playing kit about 16 years now. I started off as a rock drummer, but back in the day, there was never really, or when I first started, I didn't really see any future in performing because you were either playing in a little pub and not really making much money, or you were a huge rock band touring, and the chances of doing either, well, the chances of the second anyway, were quite slim. So I stopped drumming when I was about 18, 19, just in university. And then Chris Sticks was formed from the best drunk decision of my life. So I used to go out way too much, and I was in a bar and I saw a sax player, and like all the drunk girls in there, I was obsessed with him.
Who was the sax player?
I don't want to name names.
I thought it was going to be me.
Always you, Callum. No, I think you were booked, so they had to downgrade that night. But yeah, like all the drunk girls there, I was obsessed. And then the next week I saw a drummer, and my friend went over, flirted with the sax player, and then flirted my way onto the kit. She flirted, I didn't. And I asked how he got the gig, and he said he owned a music agency, so asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. And if I was sober, I would have gone, no. But because I was drunk, I was like, sure, let's go. So, yeah, the next morning I woke up with the biggest beer fear I've ever had in my life, that I've just given my number to an international music agent. And I haven't picked up my drumsticks in about 3 years. But I put my big girl pants on, filmed a music video, and the rest is history. So that's kind of how Chris Sticks got started. With a glass of Pinot in hand, and that still has not changed.
Oh, that definitely hasn't changed. That's definitely still the same.
How did you get started?
I got started by accident, actually. I was just left university, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I remember thinking, right, I know, let's see how much people charge for one-to-one tuition. And the idea was that I was going to do one-to-one tuition. So I went on Gumtree and I came across an advert that said saxophonist, and it was actually spelt wrong, wanted for club in Bradford.
On Gumtree?
On Gumtree, yeah,
Okay.
of all places. And I thought,
Okay.
I could do that.
Okay.
And it was to house music, of course, and I introduced myself. I went, they seemed interested, and they said to me, you know, this is how long we want you to be playing for a night. And it was about 8 hours. So
8 hours?
Yes.
I think I'd die.
And I didn't know at that time that wasn't normal. So I would do 8-hour sets. What they'd do is they'd give me 4 hours for 60 quid. And then any additional hour on top would be an extra 20.
So that's where your stamina comes from then?
Yeah, well,
8 hours? What were the times for 8 hours?
I would go, I think I'd go from something like 9 to closing time, or sometimes even earlier. But yeah, I would do like 8-hour sets. It was quite fun, to be honest. And it's how I learned all the house music.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it before. And then I learned it and I thought, yeah. But it didn't all quite go to plan because I suppose we had musical disagreements, is the polite way to put it, with the bar. And also, actually, I wasn't gigging as much in the bar because they were kind of going to R&B. And in my opinion, saxophone doesn't really work well with...
In my opinion also.
Yeah, it doesn't really work well with R&B. So I kind of went and started working behind the bar.
You were a bartender?
I was, yeah, in the same place.
Oh, I'm learning so much about you.
And then I left and I ended up busking in Leeds City Centre, which was probably one of the best decisions of my life because it would be 11 p.m. People would be on their way to the clubs. Mm-hmm. And myself and a good friend of mine, Marcus, we'd just bus together, and it was his idea to do the busking. And what happened was the same people that discovered you were walking down the street one night on the way to a club. I guess they were gigging, and they said, "Oh, fancy joining our agency?" And then the rest is history.
Oh my days!
Yeah, all started from an advert on Gumtree, and that was 2016 now. So I've been doing it, almost
getting on
9 years. I know.
Getting on.
I know.
I'm still stuck on 8 hours. I don't know how I don't know how you did that. When I first started, I thought I was booked from 10 till 12. So I would go on and I would play 10 till 11. And I'm not sure if anyone on here listening has seen me, but I'm quite energetic. I was slightly less energetic back then, but still energetic nonetheless. So I'd play 10 till 11, run outside, naughty secret, smoke a quick cigarette in 3 minutes, then come back on and play from 11:03 till 12. And I ended up doing a gig with another saxophonist from another agency. So we should never have met. They were rivals. But I think the venue booked him and the area manager booked me. And I wanted to make a good impression because it was like quite a big club in Chester. So I went to them and I was like, how long do we want to play for? We're doing like 45 minutes, hour, 2 hours. And the sax player was like, I can't go 10 minutes without a cigarette break. And I looked at him like, are you joking? So I was like, we can do this. Come on, let's go. And I ended up I think we maybe got to like a 25-minute set. And I had a napkin on stage and I was like blotting his head in front of all these like drunken ravers who were loving us.
Wow.
And yeah, I think I pushed him to his limits that night. But I didn't realise, I thought you had to play for the duration of your booking.
Oh, well, I still do that. I don't really have breaks.
You do when you gig with me, though. We do like sets.
Well, true, sometimes. But if it's a club and I'm really in the vibe, I'll just carry on. I'm really bad at taking breaks. I just don't do it.
I know, but sax players are a different breed, though. I don't know how you do it. Honestly, I'd pass out. If someone says 45 minutes to me, I'm like, no. I just point blank refuse. I can't do it. Like, I'm melting enough as it is.
Okay, so the listener knows a little bit about us. Probably don't know why we're starting a podcast. So I'll delve a little bit into that. I will just say, just before I delve into that, this is our first podcast. Allow us to make mistakes. I'm hoping that everything is going to be really amazing and polished.
Incredible.
I am worried that something will go wrong, such as my audio will be a lot lower than yours. I'm literally looking at the waves now with that fear. Well, no, I mean like the levels. But you know, I'm just gonna say, I bought this mic secondhand, and yours is new. They're the same mic, and I think I should have bought mine new because I'm noticing quite a few things, especially the smell of nicotine right in front of my nose, and it's really difficult.
It's not me, I promise. I stopped smoking a while ago.
But yeah, so why we're doing this podcast is really because, well, when we're going home late at night, and it's really for everyone in the events industry and entertainment industry, no matter what you do, a lot of the time you're traveling home on your own at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., maybe even later. And you can't really just ring someone because a lot of the time, family members, they're asleep. And to keep myself going on the road, I listen to a lot of podcasts. We are going to delve into a bit later about how we stay awake on the road and other people's suggestions and ideas. But yeah, this is really to keep people company on the roads, to be honest, and so that people can identify with something that they do as well, which is in the entertainment industry. How often this is going to be, we don't know yet. We are just seeing how we get on. It might be every week. It might be every once a month. Might be every day. It's not going to be every day.
Definitely not every day.
we don't have the stamina.
It took me an hour to get here and an hour to get back. Unless I'm moving into the studio, it's not happening every day.
So we're in Sheffield and you live in Leeds.
I do.
So it is about an hour away from here. So who do we plan to have on the podcast? Because we do think we're going to get people on the podcast. I think that they're going to be, other people from the entertainment industry. They might be people that are potentially magicians, maybe, or dancers, or maybe other people who are, agency kind of related people as well.
I think it'd be brilliant to have a sound engineer, yes. Yes.
I agree.
Reply slower, please. A sound engineer, because obviously we're on stage and sometimes we turn in and set up and stuff, but I think it'd be interesting to see the panic that happens backstage, and also the people who set up the entire events with the staging, and I think I have somebody in mind who could be good for that, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see how we get on with that. I look forward to that. I can't wait for guests. However, we're going to have to do something about this settee though, because there's space for two of us.
It's a bonding activity.
I know, but it's going to be squished, or they're going to be squished. We're going to be squished. Everyone's going to be squished. Okay, so that's kind of about the podcast, why we're doing it. We hope that you tune in. You can actually watch this as well with your eye holes. You can watch this on Spotify as well as listen to it, but you can also watch it on YouTube. We'll also be posting snippets on Instagram and TikTok, and our handle on all of those things is We Make It Happen Podcast. You can also email us too, which I'm going to be saying a lot during the podcast, which is We Make It Happen Podcast @gmail.com. I'm double checking that that's right because I've only just set this up. It is right. Well done, me. Okay, Let's move it on.
In case people don't know, Callum already has a baby, but this is his second child. This podcast.
Oh, I thought you meant the studio.
No, the podcast. You have done so well with this.
I've got two cats as well.
Oh, your fourth child.
I'm a saxophone.
Okay, I'm just like a nearly 29-year-old spinster. A cat lady with no cats. I've got fish.
You've got, oh yeah, go on. Tell us about your fish. Yes, come on. People are trying to get to know
The
you.
podcast has taken a weird turn already. So I have, my parents own a pet shop in Leeds. I have 2 fish tanks in my house. I had a little tiny one in my room, and then I wanted to upgrade to a big one. So I brought that home, and then I thought I'd missed the little one too much. So now my bedroom looks like an aquarium, and I've got shrimps, and I love my shrimps. And tetras and angelfish. You told me to talk about this. Angelfish and swordfish. And every single morning I wake up, my angelfish are right next to my head and they're staring at me.
I wanted to interrupt and say, do you have a favourite fish? But would that be mean to the other fishes? Fishes? Fish eye.
Fish.
You can't have
fish eye.
Fishes, can you? It's fish. Would that be mean to the other fish?
I can't pick between my babies. You can't pick between your child and your podcast. Oh, that's a lie.
I definitely can pick between my child and the podcast.
Sorry, Josie, if you're listening. You know I'm joking. You know
Josie
I love you.
Josie is my partner, just for reference.
Love you, Amari. Peace out.
So let's move it forward. I loved hearing about your fish.
You asked.
So every podcast, we're going to do a check-in to see if the recent events make us love our job or loathe our job. I'll point out, we know, of course, how lucky what we do is. Our jobs are amazing. But sometimes it can be a bit much. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes it can be a bit much. So I'm going to start with you.
Oh.
Love or loathe right now, your job?
Ooh. Can I do a percentage?
If you want to.
I don't even know what the percentage is. It's alternating between 60 and 40. I'm just not sure which one's which. Love my job. However, online haters are doing my head in. So I'm very blessed to have I hit 2 million views on a video last week. Ooh. Insert a sound clip.
I actually do, yeah. I think I've got a round of applause. Hold on. No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. There you go. That's the one I wanted.
Thank you.
I'm getting used to this. I said mistakes will happen.
I am so impressed. You've blown me away.
I know. Well,
you need an applause for yourself. Do an applause for yourself. Hey.
Hold on. Oh, no, that's the scary one. That's the one I wanted.
That's what you need for pressing all the wrong buttons.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Right, anyway.
I forgot what we're saying.
You were saying viral haters.
2 million. 2 million. So yeah.
2 million. Oh, yeah. Let's not forget that.
No, that's what we're aiming for in this column. I have a hair in my face. So, yeah, I hit 2 million views, which is obviously a blessing. Thank you, everybody. However, I've had a lot of, I was told not to swear on this podcast, very mean people who say very mean things. Is that PG enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, fantastic. And just dealing with them every single day is doing my head in. Because I've got to go down. If people or future clients go on to look at my video and they go, oh, that looks popular. And then it's full of very mean people. We need a censored button on there.
I got rid of the bleep.
Oh, we need to bring that back.
Bleep.
Bring back the bleep. Especially in this topic. If the clients look on and they think, oh, this looks great, but then they scroll down and there's loads of negative comments from idiots. It just doesn't look very good. So every morning I wake up and I call it gardening. I wake up and the first thing that I do is I pull out the weeds. That's what I do.
Okay.
Every morning I start my day with negativity. Looking at these people calling me fat.
Oh, right.
and unable to play. And I have a mental or physical disorder or anything like that. And so that's how I start my day. Every day. So that is it.
Mine very differently. But yeah.
So that is a loathe of my job, I would say. I've got something else, but I can save that for later. What was yours? Love or loathe?
Well, you talked about the loathe, but you didn't talk about, you said it was a percentage. So what's the love bit?
2 million views, baby.
Okay. So you love the attention, but you hate the attention.
That makes me sound so vain. It's an accomplishment.
Hey, we're all seeking for attention. It's how we get paid.
Literally.
All right. So if you'd have asked me end of January and probably a couple of weeks ago, I'd have said loathe. 100%
Really?
loathe. Yeah.
100%. Big numbers.
Yeah, because you pay your tax bill at the end of January. You worked so hard. You get this lovely dough in the bank account. Mm-hmm. And then the tax man goes, hey, I'll have that, please.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, what? Did you work for that? I worked for that. You didn't work for that.
This podcast is going to get political.
It is, but it's hard. And, I sometimes speak to people and I'm like, oh, how are you feeling about your tax? And they go, oh, I've already paid it. And I'm there going, great. And they've been really organised and they've had it come out of their bank account monthly already sorted. No, not with me. Not with me. I wait till the last. I do what most people do.
I'm one of those people that you hate.
Oh, right, okay. See, I wait until the last minute and I go, I suppose now's a great time to pay it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's basically my bank account emptied.
Yeah.
So I struggle with that. I do. And then obviously January and February is the less busy time of the year.
Oh my
really.
God, yeah.
So January, although I've got to pay the tax bill, everything that I earn in December, which seems to be quite busy, I get to, it's fine for January. February hits though. There were no gigs in January.
No.
There's no gigs in February.
No.
So
are you in the same boat as me? Are you quiet?
Quiet during February?
And January?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you're one of the busiest people that I know. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. Sorry for your loss.
Sorry for my loss. Well, yeah. I mean, if my January and February, it could be maybe subjective to some people. You might go, oh, that's really busy. But either way, like, because you budget, for your year, don't you? And then you think it still goes down. It might be busier than somebody else's, and somebody else's might be busier than mine. But when you have that massive drop, it is like, ooh.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's also a lot on the brain as well, because it's mentally, I think, kind of it's mentally difficult, I think, to just go, okay, I've been really busy. Oh, now I've got a free Friday and Saturday night. And I think people go, oh, great, go out.
You feel like a failure. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just feel like I should be doing something, but no one wants me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, basically. No one wants to spend any money in January, February time, because they're all paying the tax.
And then we don't want to go out and do January, February Fridays and enjoy ourselves because we're not getting paid for it. And then you're like in the place where you actually work, where I come and see you quite a lot when I'm drunk, which is very rarely because I don't often have time off. But when I do, I make sure to come and see you. And I could just not imagine going back to a bar like that or something. I'm not sure if you're a big drinker. And just being like, well, I could be playing here, but instead, no. You drink tea.
I drink tea. It's cold, but yeah, I drink.
I offered to make you one beforehand. My coffee's piping.
So basically, what happened was we made our teas and coffees, then decided to do a sound check. And as you're probably listening to this, you're probably thinking you did a sound check. It doesn't sound like it. We did a sound check, and that took so long, and set up all the cameras around us. That took so long that my tea is gone cold. But I'll make another one at the end.
For people who can see it, we do have our branded mugs.
I can't reach mine.
You can see it on the front-facing camera. Don't knock anything over.
I know, that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to. It's like, no, I can't do it.
I'll describe it to you. So it's a beautiful white 8-ounce mug.
8 ounce? Have you measured it?
I was trying to sort out some merchandise for myself. I'm pretty sure that's 8 ounce. Might be wrong. Might be sounding really thick now. Please do not break the 8-ounce porcelain mug.
Well.
Oh, God.
I've not broken it, but there is a lot of electronic equipment around, and I've got some tea in there.
Giving me anxiety. Here we go. Chin chin.
For those that are listening... For those that are listening, well, you probably knew what that was. For those that are listening, I am holding up my mug. It says Sweet on Sax all over it. It is a special edition. You can't buy this. It's one of one. Oh. I seem to remember...
If I steal it, can I sell it?
Well, no one's going to buy it.
You can buy it from me.
I remember actually buying this. And I've got a Sweet on Sax bag as well. And I remember sending this to order and getting it. And my mum said to me, who's going to want to buy that then? She wasn't wrong. No one's bought it. I've not had it for sale, but there was I did a video about it ages ago when I bought them, and there wasn't any interest at all. But that's all right. I'll cry about it another time. Okay.
Well, this is actually a trial for merchandise.
The girl who swishes
her hair. Get a close up for the camera. So
a bit nicer than mine.
No, yours is beautiful. All mugs are beautiful.
All mugs. I say that to myself in the mirror every day. All mugs are beautiful.
All mugs are beautiful.
Okay, so I was on the Love It Loathe It. That's what I was on.
Yes.
So, I've hit the mic. Very sorry for the rustle.
This podcast is full of ADHD. It's dripping of ADHD.
Yeah, sorry for those that have just hit a swish as I've hit the mic. So I was saying, love it or loathe it. So yeah, if you'd have asked me a few weeks ago, I'd have said loathe it. Now I'd say that I'm going more to the love it. That's because I'm actually starting to gig because it's the end of February and I'm suddenly remembering why I enjoy what I do, which is good. I mean, that is what keeps me going is the gigs. So that's good. I will say it's tricky at times though, with so I'm a new parent. My child is 7 months old almost, and I'd say the tricky thing is now sleep routine for myself. There was never one anyway, but now it's really bad because I get home 3-4 a.m. and then being a parent on top. You never know when your child's going to wake. And I'm sneaking into the room, trying to not wake him because he's still obviously of an age where he sleeps in the same room as his mummy and daddy. And I basically wake him all the time. And then he's crying and then he needs feeding and then he needs changing and then it's 6 a.m. and I still haven't slept.
Nice.
But you know, it's all right. I you know, still love what I do, regardless, on the whole. But yeah, that's basically it.
Nice. When you're talking about starting to gig again towards the end of February, I am genuinely concerned for my gig end of Feb, because it's a big gig, which is a big compliment, because it's one of the, I'm going to say big again, one of the big bosses of a chain of venues that I work at. And she's personally requested me. So that is a huge compliment. However, I will not have done a gig for a month.
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one.
Don't you laugh at my pity.
I wanted the applause. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Carry on.
Big compliment. But yeah, by that point, I don't think I will have done a gig for a month-ish. So quiet.
Oh, that is quiet.
I told you it's quiet. I had 2 in January, and then I've had 2 in February. This one will be the second coming up, and a wedding show. But yeah, quiet. So my body will not be used to it. I think the next day I'll feel like I've been hit by a freight train.
I think you'll be just fine. I think you'll get back into it straight away, and it'll be like, boom, oh, here we go. Yeah, this was just took a bit of time out, really.
I know, but the first gig after Christmas, me and the sax player thought that, and that 50 minutes into the first set, we were sweating. It was moist.
But that's because you were doing so well. You were, you know, working up a sweat.
Thank you, I think.
Right. Moving swiftly on.
Swiftly, please.
Swiftly.
For my
So,
sweat.
what have you got coming up then that you're excited about? You've mentioned, obviously, this thing that you've got going that you've been chosen specifically for.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I'm just trying to do a big push with... Oh, I heard the pop filter work then.
Yeah. Well, actually, it wasn't working.
It wasn't working. Send them back. I'm just trying to do a big push with Christic's drumming, I think. So I've got 2 new packages that are out. I'm trying to promote those, doing more wedding shows, trying to get some more work on my own, working as a bit of an agent. Do not spill that on the electrics.
Sorry, it's because for those listening, I was moving my tea. I noticed something at the bottom of it, so I don't want it anymore.
Okay. I could just see the beautiful, beautiful Sweet on Sax mug hovering over a mixing desk, and I was like, oh my God, no. But yes, I'm just trying to do a big push with that. So even though I have been quiet, I have been busy behind the scenes.
Good.
So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, just doing some more wedding shows. Oh, I've also got some more abroad gigs coming up, which is exciting. Saint-Tropez is booked in.
Ooh.
Italy is booked in. Santorini is booked in twice. And I'm just going to go to Ibiza just for a bit of a boogie anyway. A bit of boogie, bit of sun, bit of a reset.
Very nice.
So I'm very excited.
Very nice.
What about you?
Well, so I'm under an NDA, but I don't know what it is myself.
That's so exciting.
Well, it is and it isn't, because I don't know what it is, and it might not even happen.
Why might it not happen?
Well, I can't say too much because I'm under an NDA, and I don't know how much
this
the other
podcast,
person
it's secretive. It's a secretive podcast.
All I know was I was asked for a quote abroad.
Ooh.
And that it may or may not happen.
Okay.
And that they're under an NDA who's asked me, so they can't say anything.
I've got so many questions.
And you can ask questions, but I can't answer them because I
that's
don't
not
know
good
myself. So
off air, can you tell me who's asked you? But not
yeah.
Okay.
No, I can't tell you off air because of an NDA.
No, you can't tell me.
Can't tell you anything. It's an NDA. It's what an NDA is.
Cut that out.
Cut that out. No, I'm not doing that out. I was being honest. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, to be fair. Fine.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. And I've also bought myself some new kit. I mean, I've bought a lot of kit recently.
You've bought a lot of kit.
Everything that's around us, I didn't own beforehand, and that cost me quite a bit. And my thought was, when we were deciding to start this podcast, we'll just use what we've already got. That didn't happen.
No.
I've basically bought loads of stuff.
The only thing you're missing is a drone that you could fly around and show everybody all the stuff that you bought, because this is packed.
There's a lot. There's too much, to be honest.
It's perfect. You're talking to a materialistic spender. It's great. I'm loving it.
So the new kit that I've bought is a new mouthpiece for my saxophone.
I can't relate to that.
No, no. And to be honest, if you're listening and you're a sax player, obviously you know what I'm talking about. If you're listening and you're not a sax player, you probably won't know how important this is.
Explain it for the dummies in the back.
Okay, so it's a little bit like I'm not sure if this is a good analogy.
Oh god.
It's a little bit like drinking with a straw. Okay, so every straw does the same thing, but the end result can be a little bit different. So
A bit disappointing.
if you're drinking with a straw that is quite girthy, then
PG, Callum. PG.
there's nothing wrong with that word. It's just wide. Okay, a lot of drink can flow. Okay. If you're drinking with a straw that's paper, it's a bit crumbly and it doesn't serve its purpose too well.
Yep.
My mouthpiece is a bit like paper at the moment in terms of, I mean, it actually works, but I'm not producing the sound that I want to from it.
Okay.
And the mouthpiece can change the sound overall. And I've actually been playing it since I left university. And as a sax player, you'll know most people, they change their mouthpieces. They can change their mouthpieces often. University for me was almost 10 years ago. So, and I haven't changed it yet. And it doesn't look great either. It's not in the best of condition. I was listening to a fellow sax player called Amber Sax.
Shout out.
She has a very nice tone. And I thought, that's what I'm aiming towards, a tone that is rich and full. So she doesn't know it yet, but I basically bought the same mouthpiece she has.
Well, she's going to find out about it soon.
Yeah. So thanks, Amber, for that advice. But yeah, that was 400 quid.
Oh, I thought it'd be like 20.
No.
I don't know these things. I hit things for a living.
It's gold plated.
Can I have
know.
one? I might buy one for £400.
I don't know.
It's gold.
What the gold does to the actual sound, as opposed to whether it was silver. I'm sure that there is a really technical thing that sax players will say, oh, it's obvious what it does, it brightens the sound. I did not know that. I don't know why they talk like that.
What were you trying to do? What accent was that?
The sax player.
Saxophonist. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that. That is supposed to be arriving to my house tomorrow. So by the time we do our next podcast, I'll be able to do an in-depth analysis about how good that was, or whether it was a waste of 400 quid that I'll never get back. Because once you put it in your mouth, you can't exactly send it back, can you? It's like sending back underwear. You can't do that. You see what I'm saying? Right. So.
Oh, I have something also exciting that I could potentially do a review on.
Oh, yeah.
I might be getting an endorsement for drumsticks.
Oh, wait, drumsticks.
Drumsticks. That was in the... I'm not sure if we've mentioned that this time. Was that in the test before?
No, we talked about that.
Oh, we've talked about the drumsticks.
Yeah.
So a potential endorsement, which is exciting. Although I haven't actually used the sticks before. So... they've given me a discount code and then I need to order some and try them. And then if I like them, then I shall also be endorsed. So we can both do a review.
I was wondering, with the drumsticks endorsement, whether we could get ourselves in an opportunity where we're getting sponsored by your drumsticks.
Potentially.
Because we've got no
I've not got the endorsement yet, but potentially.
It's going to happen though, isn't it? I mean, your Chris Sticks.
Oh. I nearly saw then.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from the love and the loathe and the exciting things that we've got coming up. Okay, and we're gonna talk about a topic that's close to my heart, and that topic is driving, which is what I was touching on earlier when I was saying, how important this podcast is, or hopefully going to be to those that are driving from to a gig or from home or whatever during late at the night. Okay, so I had a crash about 2 years ago, maybe almost 3, and I fell asleep at the wheel at 40 miles an hour. I hit a tree. That wasn't very nice.
No.
I totaled my car. And it's just because I was tired. Now, I would love to say it was coming back from a gig. It wasn't. It was coming back from my beaver.
Hey, represent.
But I was just tired. I was really tired, and I just pushed it too much. But I knew that it could have happened at any point when I was coming from a gig. coming back home from a gig, because there were so many times where I was feeling tired on the road. So it got me thinking, you know, what do I do now to stay alert at the wheel? And a lot of that is listening to podcasts, which is kind of why this podcast is come about. And also I have coffee. I also put the windows down and things like that just to stay alert. So if you're currently listening to this and you're feeling tired, if you haven't got the windows down already, put them down. But safer yet, if there's a safe spot to pull over, pull over. And I know that may sound like, well, okay, well, why are you telling me that's obvious? But what I've noticed is when I'm really, really tired.
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say? You
don't even realise that you're tired.
I can't think.
No.
Like a clear, obvious thought, which is pull it over. My brain is in this.
You're on autopilot.
Yes, and I'm just trying to, it's almost like a game. I'm just trying to get to the end, the finish line. But the game, like especially when I use that word, it's so important because it's other people's lives at risk, including your own. And it's just not worth it. That being said, though, a lot of the time I spend is on the motorway, probably the same with you.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, unless you're on the M1 where there's a service every 17 minutes, sometimes you just never know.
No.
17 minutes at 70 miles an hour is going to be a lot shorter if you're breaking the limit and a lot longer if you're slower. But I always think that there's just not enough service spots to pull over.
No.
Because it could just happen like that. And you're just like, oh, my God, I really need to pull over. And, well, you can't pull over on the hard shoulder because it's not legal. Although some people don't know that. But it's not legal.
No, but you always get some idiot, don't you, just pulling over to relieve themselves at the side of the road.
You do get that.
Does my head in seeing that.
Especially on a Friday and Saturday night.
Oh my God, the beautiful countryside that we drive through over the moors, and then you see that.
But, yeah, go on.
What was I going to say then?
I don't know. I will interject, though, this thought.
Interject.
And hopefully it will
It'll
come back.
back.
So I asked other people.
I'm interjecting back.
Okay.
So what I was going to say was, when you're on autopilot, and you can't even really think. Like, I am very blessed, shout out to my dearest mother, that since I've started, she has called me when I'm 40 minutes away from home just to make sure that I'm doing okay, because that is she thinks if you're going to feel tired, that is the moment that you will be when you're like towards the end of your journey.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but I love talking to my mum. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to get home. But it's those moments when you need to. Because your brain is just shutting down. You're like, oh, I can't be bothered. But what we've started doing is, you were the very first person. Do you remember we called each other religiously whenever we were gigging?
Yeah, yeah.
And that helps so much. Call someone. If you're in the music industry, I don't know why there's a stigma. It's not even a stigma. People just don't think about it. Of getting in your car and then just driving home in silence. Literally everybody that you know or that you've worked with that night is on the road doing the same thing, in the same position, trying to stay awake.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And talking on the phone really helps as well, me. But I completely understand. Who do you talk to at 2 a.m. other than people in the events industry? I mean, my mum, she's gone to bed. I phone her every week on the way to a gig, but on the way back, she's asleep, as every ordinary person is.
Yeah, my mum is superhuman. Shout out Mama Christix. But
that is really lovely, though.
I know, she's beautiful. But just call the people who you're working with if you can. Or put on We Make It Happen podcast. Shameless plug.
You could do that, yes.
Could do that.
So I put on my Instagram a little question, which was, how do people keep themselves awake after a long drive or during a long drive? And most people said the same things, actually. There were a few different ones, which I'll get to, but most people said windows open. Most people said Red Bull.
Oh, God.
Which, this isn't sponsored by Red Bull because I can't stand the stuff. It's really bad for you as well.
I used to drink way too much of it.
It gives you wings.
It didn't. There's a woman who sued, you know. This is going back like 5-10 years ago now. I'm pretty sure it's true. Don't fact check me. But
get out your phones and fact check unless you're driving.
Pull over to a safe space on the hard shoulder, get yourself a coffee if it's 3 a.m. and then fact check this and write in if I'm wrong. It's probably just a wives' tale. But I swear she actually sued Red Bull for the fact that it did not give her wings, and I'm pretty sure she won.
No way.
But that's why Red Bull stopped putting on "It Gives You Wings" for like the past 5 years of that advert. And it's only this year, I think, that I've actually seen it say it again.
Wow.
Fun fact, which might not be true.
One of my favourite responses to this question that I put out on Instagram was swear loud out the window sometimes, but mostly murder with my husband podcast.
I recommended that to her.
Or music that's well different to what I played at the gig, so maybe rock or classical.
Preach.
Ha ha. That comes from DJ Holly J.
DJ Holly J, love you. You're welcome for the podcast recommendation. Listen to this one now, please.
Yes, please. That was definitely my favourite. I did have one, which I'm definitely not saying who it's from because it's not legal.
Oh.
Yes, they said window down, freezing cold drink. That bit is legal. But then they said voice note people. And I asked them, how do you do that without touching
I can
your
neither confirm nor
phone?
deny.
Well, it wasn't you who this came from.
I know.
And they said, I said, is that legal? They said, no, it's not legal. So I encourage you to whatever you do, please do it legally. That was a great response. I've just remembered I had another one that came today.
Okay.
They said cocaine, and I said, I'm taking that's a joke. And they said, of course it's a joke. And then they actually said to me what they actually do, which isn't cocaine at all. No, I think it was just a simple answer like windows down. I can't remember now. But I was like, but I genuinely thought it actually made me think, I wonder if there are musicians or people in the entertainment
why are you
industry
wondering that? 100%.
that are keeping
They are
themselves...
the reason why our driving insurance is so high.
Yeah, well, in one way, though, they're thinking, I'm going to keep myself alive because I'm energetic on the old coke, right? I guess. But on the other side, they're not thinking that they might take someone else out because they're a bit gone.
A bit gone.
A bit gone. I don't know. But anyway, if that is you, if you are someone who is doing drugs on the road, please don't.
No, but have you noticed now that all the signs don't say "don't drink and drive" anymore? It says "don't do drugs."
Yes.
It's a pandemic now, epidemic.
Yes, that's
everywhere.
That is a very good point, and it's quite scary, isn't it, that people are doing.
It's just becoming so more socially accepted. The number of weddings that I go to, and I've told my parents that it's everywhere. And my favourite phrase that I heard a DJ say that I now say religiously is, "Oh, it's snowing heavily in here tonight."
Yeah.
And but my parents didn't believe me, and then they came along to one of the weddings just to keep me company. Once again, shout out, and they were in shock about all the hordes of bridesmaids and groomsmen and happy couples going to and from the wedding venue.
Yeah.
Not the wedding venue, the bathroom.
I know what you meant, the bathroom, yeah.
Yeah, at least someone did. Rubbing their noses.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've seen people get into cars and drive off.
Yeah.
When they are over the limit just with drinking or drugs or whatever, and it's just a bit scary because we're sharing the road with them at the end of that. Yeah. At the end of that wedding.
But this is also why it's so important for us to stay awake at the wheel, because these people are who are drug driving are putting people's lives at risk. But then if you're too tired, you're also doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So am I right in saying that they're both as bad as each other? Because you're both putting.
I mean, one's legal.
Well, it's not, because you're not driving with due care and attention if you're tired.
Touché.
So yeah, but I think this is a thing since COVID though, because I swear I didn't see. I'm sure it happened, but I swear I didn't see it to the degree I do now of the snow forecast in the bathroom.
The snow forecast, the blizzard, the bathroom blizzard.
The bathroom, yeah, absolutely. I got to put on my wellies. Yeah,
pack your thermals, darling.
I don't know why that. If what I'm saying is true, I don't know why it's come about since COVID.
Because everyone's locked into the pandemic. Everyone couldn't go out. They couldn't do anything. It's probably much cheaper to get it in. Booze is getting boring. What's the next step? It was like everyone thought it would be a month, and it's 2 years.
Yeah, true. So they were just like, let's get drugged up at home. Let it snow in my own bathroom at home. Yeah. Well, that's fine if you're not getting it. Well, I mean, it's not legal. But
I'm that's just my hypothesis of why potentially it might happen, because like you say, there has been a huge spike, and a lot of my friends, and less so me, because I was a key worker, not talking about drugs, talking about drink. They were drinking a lot more, and they'd drink every day, or they'd have a little drinking sesh and then be hungover the next day, and then they'd do it again, because all the days blurred into one. So I can understand why drugs would become more prevalent, but it is a bit scary, the sheer amount of it now.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, so keeping yourself awake at the wheel, how do you do it?
I am a caffeine fiend.
How do you get to sleep though?
I'd rather get home and be awake than not get home at all.
Do you find though that your day is ruined the next day because you've barely had any sleep, or you've woken up at 4 p.m?
I have more caffeine.
More caffeine.
My caffeine habit is much better than it used to be when I first started. Because I work in the pet shop, I used to get up at 8 and I'd start work at 9:07 because I'm late every day. And then I'd probably leave work at 5, come home, have like a half an hour nap, and then chug a Monster on the way to the gig. When I get to the gig...
Sorry, say that again. You do what?
Chug a Monster.
Chug a Monster. Okay.
Heard it here first, folks.
Drink a Monster Energy drink, does that mean?
Yes,
right,
sorry.
okay.
Sorry, is my English not
Monster.
eloquent enough for this?
No, I didn't know what it meant.
Did you not? Okay.
I was sure. It sounded like getting a fight with a Monster.
Probably been blizzarding in the bathroom and then I'm fighting them now. But no, I'd drink an entire Monster can on the way to my gig, and then I'd get there and I'd have a glass of wine because that's just my trademark. And a Red Bull and a Pro Plus, and then halfway through I'd have another Red Bull and another Pro Plus.
Wow.
And then sometimes I'd have a Monster on the way back.
Wow.
Which is obscene. I'd get in at like 4 and then I'd have maybe 4 hours until I had to get up and then go to work again.
Wow.
So caffeine was the way forward for me. It was not healthy. Do not recommend. Don't do it. Looking at the camera, don't do that. But
you say don't do it, but you at the same time, you're desperate, aren't you? Trying to get back home.
Yeah, but it's just not sensible. Make sensible decisions. Don't put yourself in that position where you feel like you need to do that.
Well, yeah, but when it's your own, if you're fortunate enough for it to be your only job, you've got to get home as well. It's a catch-22. You've got to get home, but you've got to get home alive. I just thought of two things actually. One, which changed my perception on things. I spoke to a DJ after I had my crash, and he said, well, why are you driving when you're tired? I said, well, a lot of the time I need to make a living, don't I? And,
yeah.
It's my only job. And I said, and also I'm not going to lie, it's like money. And he said, well, it's all well and good liking money, but if you're dead, you can't spend it.
Just took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. And that really resonated with me, and I think about that all the time, because prior to that, and I've had a conversation with other people about this too, hallucinating.
Again.
Yeah, no, hallucinating whilst driving on the motorway, seeing people that aren't there, jumping over the barriers. And I've spoken to a few people who said this. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? You're so tired that you see people that aren't there. If you're seeing people that aren't there now, please just pull over.
Oh, 100%. But I mean, I'm a little bit spooky anyway, so I see stuff all the time. However, this is a thing, like shadow people. I actually once had to swerve my car because I thought there was someone in front of me. And another thing that sometimes messes with my head is if there's like a bike or a car with a tail light out, or, a brake light out.
Rear light.
I'm going American.
Tail light.
A tail light. With a brake light out or something, and there's like another car. My brain can't figure out where these 2 points of light are coming from. For example, say it's like an Arctic and there's lights on top and lights on the bottom, but my brain just can't actually compute what I'm seeing in front of me.
Oh.
So it's really odd. I'm driving towards this thing and I've got glasses on and I just can't figure it out until I'm like quite close and I go, oh, it's a bus. Like,
what do you expect it to be? A UFO?
No, it's not a UFO, but like my brain's trying to come up with all these alternatives. Like, is it a bike on its own? But that's actually pulling forwards more. And is it a car? I can't tell. Is that car across 2 lanes? But in fact, no, it's not. It's a bike and one car with a tail light out.
Is that when you're like ultra tired then? That's what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I can't actually make out sometimes what's in front of me. But controversially to what everyone said when they were like, open a window, for me that sends me to sleep. It just triggers hibernation.
Oh.
I just go cold and I go, oh. And I kind of shrink into myself. So what I have to do is I get out. Sometimes I do open a window, but it's a very short fix. I get out at a service station and I just do star jumps, get the blood pumping again.
Please record that next time you do that, please.
I will. For the sake of this podcast, if we do well because of this video, I will do it.
Great.
But just get the blood pumping, get the oxygen flowing, because it's very easy when you're sat comfortably in a car.
Yeah, it is. And if you're treated to a car that has heated seats or seated heats, heated seats, or even a heating steering wheel, heated steering wheel.
Put your teeth in.
They're lovely.
Oh, they're lovely but lethal.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you got to keep them off at night, even if it is, really cold outside. And I've got to keep my car as cool as I can. Also, I don't wear jumpers. I only wear a t-shirt in the car because I find that if I do wear a jumper, especially if I wear a coat, which I definitely don't do, it really makes me feel sleepy very quickly.
Yeah, you're too comfy.
Yes, exactly. So, now that we've had that little conversation about driving safely,
okay,
I hope that everyone is driving safely. We will move it on. I think now's probably a good time. To social media. I don't have I mean, this isn't going to be some part of the show every time. We're not going to talk about social media every time. It sounded like a jingle when I went, social media. But
I think you're flattering yourself. No one thought that was a jingle.
Okay, all right, fine.
It was good. I'm lying. I'm sorry. Carry on.
I hate it. What do you think about social media?
The only note we've got written in front of us was Callum will talk honestly. And
yeah, that's all
I hate it. What's your opinion? I think it is a necessity, but I think it can be misused and I think it can be detrimental to mental health. However, very beneficial for careers and detrimental to careers. Mixed. Very mixed.
I hate it passionately because I think it really messes with your mental health. And I can't really think of anyone that it would benefit, maybe in career-wise, but when I think about just myself and I see other people, fellow musicians, posted on social media.
Can I take a quick interjection?
Absolutely.
Sorry. No, this is about what you're saying. Is this you with your personal social media or you in a business stance?
That's a good question. A bit of both, I'd say.
Okay.
But speaking now from a business stance.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I see maybe a video of someone who has just done a gig that is a really cool gig, I'm genuinely really happy for them. But at the same time, a little bit
jealous.
Yeah, I'm jealous and I'm a bit gutted, and I'm like, I want to be in Mallorca.
Yeah.
On some really cool ship or something.
Yeah, some sort of yacht.
Or I see these videos where there's about 10,000 people in the crowd and there's one saxophonist on the stage, and I'm like, that's not me.
Yes.
I've just done a gig in a local bar. And nothing wrong with a local bar. No. And at the same time, and this is what you don't think about, is someone else is going to be looking at the local bar going, well, at least you've done a local bar gig. I didn't even do a gig.
Yeah, actually.
But it's really that it really plays with your mind, and then also view counts. So when I look at your social media and I see you've done 2 million views. Sorry. 3 million views.
No, I said sorry. I didn't say 3. I'm not.
2 million views. And then I look at mine, who's done 100. I'm like, what did I do wrong?
No, but your TikTok's more than me.
Well, I don't know. But the thing is, though, the funny thing is that I don't know that, and you do know that because.
Well, there you go.
But the reason is I think about social media is you look at the negatives. You don't look at the positives. You look at someone doing better than you. So you know that I might be doing more view count on you than TikTok, but I didn't know that.
Well, where's the applause button? Give yourself an applause. I
think actually what we may need is no, that's a scary one. I've done it again.
Why is there a scary one?
Oh no. Oh, yeah, we'll go with applause. Hey. I know what that one is.
But yes, like you say, you do always look at the negatives, and you always look at somebody who is doing better than you. But I don't know. I think it is good, but I think it also isn't the best reflection on the musician, because there's some amazing musicians out there who have maybe 300 followers, and people would look at that and go, "Oh, they must be a bit rubbish," when actually they're brilliant. They just don't invest the time. Or not invest the time. The algorithm hasn't worked in their favour.
Oh, yes, the algorithm.
The deity.
that what you just said though is really important. When you just mentioned about like, 300 followers, they must be really rubbish. There are, and this is I really really do not approve of this, but I understand it, but I don't approve of it. There are companies out there that hire people based on the amount of followers that you have, and you can buy those followers.
Yes.
That's
Hire
not a
them in what
reflection of
way?
how good you are. Hire them as in like, I've just heard them. They won't know whether they're decent or not, but they'll go, 73.5 thousand followers as opposed to 165. I'll take the 73.5
For a
thousand
performance?
followers.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a performance, and I just think, really, are we that fickle?
Well, in social media days now, yes.
Mm.
Everything at events is just get the Instagrammable moment.
Mm-hmm.
So if at your event you're tagging somebody who has 50,000 followers, that looks, I'm doing it in inverted comma fingers here, impressive. Because everything is so social media based now, it makes everybody very materialistic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
But this links to me as well with imposter syndrome, because I find a lot of the time, and I think it's because of my own, like what's kind of social media does to me, is I feel like, when I see all these other people that have significantly more likes or followers, I think, oh, well, I'm not really worthy, am I? I shouldn't really be here. And I do gigs and I'm like, oh, yeah, but there's someone better than me or whatever that should be here instead, XYZ. And it's really hard to get, I think, out of that kind of frame of mind where you're constantly judging yourself. And I also think, and as well, like, there's always going to be someone who's actually a better player, but you're always focused, for me anyway, I'm always focused on that better player, thinking, oh, that's not me, they're going to be judging, they're going to see a video of what I'm doing, they're just going to judge me, they're going to think, well, I wouldn't play the saxophone like that. And sometimes there are some comments that people have made to me in the past, and I think they mean nothing by it when they say it, but that imposter syndrome kicks in and I just remember it forever and ever.
Oh, yeah.
They go, I remember one person said to me when I said I was doing a club gig, I wouldn't do it. And that just stuck with me forever. It's like, because I'm not as good of a musician than them because they're not doing it, which means I shouldn't be doing it either.
What, were they a musician?
Yeah, a very, very, very good musician as well.
Well, what do they do to earn a living?
Gigs, but not the same kind of gigs that I do, but gigs in their own right. But I think it was really more of
that you're having more fun.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, but maybe, if we could both do something that we enjoy, that's great. But I think what it is they obviously said something that it just sat with me because I was already feeling probably insecure. And then it's, something so small, it's really hard for it to just leave the brain.
It's the same thing if you're looking at reviews for a hotel or a restaurant, isn't it? Everyone skims over the good ones and then you see one bad one, you're like, oh.
Amazon product.
Do
that.
Oh my God, all the time.
It's not 4.8. I'm not interested.
Why did you buy a second-hand microphone then?
Because no one rated the microphone itself, the second-hand microphone. Yeah, I wouldn't rate this a 4.8 right in front of me. Yours sounds great, and it's the same microphone.
Thank you. It's my talking through it.
Yeah, it's just you speaking.
But when you said that you feel like, what did you say? You feel like there were people out there with more followers than you who were better than you, and you didn't deserve to be there.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm the flip side.
Oh.
So I'm not trying to do a shameless plug, but I have quite a large following on Instagram, and I am the...
That was seamless. I got that right.
I'm so proud of you. I'm trying to be emotional here.
Sorry. Would you like some scary music along?
People are going to turn off.
Yeah, sorry.
You need to pepper them.
Pepper them?
Pepper them
Salt
throughout.
and pepper. Right.
Season the podcast. Stop putting me off. Yes, I have quite a large following. And it comes with its many positives and negatives. I went viral a few times purely through fluke of the algorithm and everything. Thanks. And and I'm the same. People look at me and they ask for my Instagram and they go, "Oh my God, you're famous." But then I'm thinking, actually, people think I should be a really big deal. I'm just sat here hitting a few drums. I'm hitting congas with sticks, which I really shouldn't be doing anyway. But F the police. And I just feel like there should be people out there who are much better than me. I feel like a bit of a phony because I've gone viral on some videos which aren't even the best videos, and everyone expects so much of me when I'm just doing what I'm doing, and I really shouldn't be there, and why everyone's cheering for me, I don't know.
Well,
emotional rant. That felt good.
Good. I'm glad it did.
It's not all the time, but sometimes it is. Sometimes when like someone just happens to, they'll be talking to their, partner, and they'll just glance in your direction, and that gets with me. If they're not smiling,
oh yeah,
and you're having a bad day, or you're just feeling a bit about yourself, but it's okay. You'll get on with it. It'll be fine. Then when you get there, you cheer up. But if you haven't got to that cheering up part yet, and then someone just happens to glance at you, then glance at their phone, messes with me. I spend the entire time, I don't care about anyone else, trying to impress that person.
Yes.
And I get so in my own head, and literally
Same.
They could just be checking the baby monitor at home and having a great time.
Yeah.
But, I get so in my head, I can't do it.
Well, yeah, I end up people watching the whole gig.
Yeah.
And I see someone, I lock eyes with someone, or I see their face, and they just don't look like they're having a good time. And I think, what can I do to put a smile on their face, or at least, to make it look like they're enjoying it? And the weirdest, and it really eats my brain and gets into my head. And then hilariously, they'll come up to me at the end of the gig.
They're always the ones that compliment.
And go, oh, that was absolutely fun. I loved it. It was fantastic. And I'm like, well, you didn't look like you were having a good time.
Can you tell your face that, please? Because it's going to give me nightmares tonight.
I mean, I'm thinking, God, if you're at a party and you look like this, what do you look like at a funeral?
Would you like on your wedding day?
Yeah, no.
God forbid seeing that at the end of the aisle.
We are going to move to a little feature that is going to be a weekly feature.
Final feature.
Yes. It's going to be a weekly feature that we're going to get guests involved, and we want you to be involved as well, which you can email in at...
We Make It Happen podcast. Hang on. Do it again. Right,
and you can email in at...
WeMakeItHappenPodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, brilliant.
Thank you.
We want to hear your funny gig stories. We do ask you, though, to leave out any names and locations.
Or leave them in and we can have a laugh, and then we just won't tell everyone else. That's also fine with me.
So we'll start with you. What's a funny gig story?
I was thinking about this, and there's one that I just don't really want to air on the first episode, so that might be the second. It's a bit personal. Oh, there's two that are a bit personal. Right, let's go with this one. I got booked with an agency to do an act, which was 2 singers and sax and percussion. So the singers are on all the time, sax and percussion. Never done this before. Just dip in and out whenever the singer requests their next song. You can just see if you like it or not, and then go on and play, which I think is really odd, because you could go on, nail a song, and then the next singer has requested Valerie by Amy Winehouse, and then you walk off again. Really odd. But there was a sound limiter at this venue that no one told us about. So I was like, right, one good song came on that would be suitable for my style of drumming. So I thought, yes, finally, I've been stood here 20 minutes listening to Motown. I can do this. So I went on, did the big build-up, the dun, 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 instantly cut off all the music. The second I hit the cymbal, big build-up, everyone was loving it, all the music cut off, lights cut off, just set off the sound system, the sound limiter. So I thought, oh, God, okay, I'll try play a bit quieter. So I went off stage. They set everything up again. Came back on, played really quietly this time, everything cut off again. I was like, I can't do this. So then the agent was like, just use your walkabout bongos. And I think it is just the frequency that my drums are set to. I don't really know why. So I used my walkabout bongos, cut off again straight away. So they just said, well, you can't do this gig, just sit it out.
Oh.
But it was a 5-hour booking. And they didn't want me to dismantle my kit because it would ruin the aesthetic. So I just sat in my car and watched Netflix for 5 hours straight outside in the cold.
You know, when I said funny gig story, I was expecting like a laughter at the end. But I mean, it is a funny gig, but not a...
No, I just got paid for sitting in the car for 5 hours because people didn't do their job.
5
hours?
It
was a 5-hour gig.
You were saying like you were surprised at my 8-hour gigs earlier. You did 5 hours.
I know, but we were just hopping on and off. It wasn't 5 hours playing solid, though. But I just tried 3 times, killed the entire wedding because no one did the research.
And you got paid?
Got paid to watch Netflix.
Brilliant.
Which is actually quite good to me. In my surround sound Land Rover. I felt like I was at the cinema.
We don't get sponsored by Land Rover.
Yet.
No.
Yet. We will do.
We will
do. What's your funny gig story? Go on. Do better than me.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to do better.
If I'm not laughing, I'm going to be disappointed.
Subjective. Well, you may already know the story already, but I did a gig in a famous club in Leeds, and I did say leave out location, but I think this is okay because there's nothing bad in this.
Okay, what's the location?
No, Leeds. That's as far as I'm going with the location.
Okay. Right.
Leeds. And I was stood on a table, and I was playing high notes, and I noticed that there were a group of lads that were getting very excited whenever I was playing high notes. And all of a sudden, the head honcho of the group of lads, I'll say the head honcho because he just seems to be in charge of them in a strange way. He started giving me money every single time I went high. And I thought, all right, okay, I could, and it was 20 quid notes.
Classical conditioning, just keep hitting those high notes.
Well, that's what I was doing. I was like, okay, if he's giving me 20 quid every time I hit a high note, I mean, when will he run out? And I noticed his mates, they're starting to feel a bit left out, so they were chipping in.
Oh my God.
They didn't have 20 quid though; they had £5 notes. But I was like, "Hey, I'll take it." And then the DJ said, "Is he giving you money, that guy?" I said, "Yeah, he is." He said, "He's giving me money too." I thought, "Blimey, if he's giving you money, he's giving me money. How much money does this guy have?" And then he said, I've got something to tell you there about the money. I said, oh, what is it? He said, it's not real. Oh. I was like, great.
Devastated.
I was devastated. And I thought, he's just giving me a load of 20 quids that aren't even real, so I can't do anything with him. Carried on doing the gig. He still was trying to give me money, to the point now where I was like, mate, it's all right. Keep your fake money. I don't want your fake money. You're not
impressing anyone.
No. And I ended up going to the bar and I said, look, just to let you know, there's some fake money going around. So those little searches that you do on those notes, yeah, you need to be doing them because you're going to get quite a few fakes. They said that we have been doing them. We've not noticed any fakes yet. And I thought, oh, well, he's just giving me the fakes, isn't he? And he's probably paying by card. So at the end of the night, I said to the bar staff, can you do me a favour and just see whether any of this money is fake? I said, yeah, no problem, sure. So I got in a conversation with the bar staff, and they, as the manager was checking all these notes, and she suddenly says, yeah, all that 290 quid is real. Oh. And I went, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so real. I said, you're having. I've got paid more through tips than I have through the actual gig itself. And all of the bar staff were just absolutely in shock. And I thought, well, there's no way I could have done this without them. So we just split it between us. Well, I mean, I kept most of it, I'm not going to lie. I kept most of it. But yeah, no, I was like, well, take a 20 because I didn't have it to start.
Oprah Winfrey. You have a 20 and you have a 20. Everybody has a 20.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was definitely the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
I mean, don't sound too upset about it.
Well, no, I was hoping he'd come back, but he never did.
Probably bankrupt him.
I wondered why he had so much cash, but then it probably best if I don't wonder why.
Yeah, but if you're getting it, I'm not complaining.
No, well, no, but like...
Either dealer or bonus. I'm guessing they are the two options.
You know the song Dirty Cash?
Tune, by the way.
Yeah, was that Dirty Cash? If he's got it all in cash, probably.
Are you just a laundrette for him?
Yeah, probably. He was probably trying to probably had the coppers come in and trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, I saw this suspicious sax player. His case was full of 20s.
What I didn't know, though, was that all of the staff had already been given tips by him. No, they had to. But yeah, if you've got any funny gig stories, please email in at
WeMakeItHappenPodcast@gmail.com. My laptop's gone off.
Oh, right.
You say it again more clearly.
WeMakeItHappenPodcast@gmail.com. Okay, right then. We have been going on for some time, and I think it is a lovely, lovely way to end. So, thank you very much. If you've made it this far, we appreciate it. We've been going on for an hour and 10 minutes, roughly.
Yeah. Oh my God. Before we were like between 40 minutes and an hour is decent. Any more than that gets boring. So if you haven't got bored We love you.
Fantastic. Yes.
Fan Dabby Dozy.
Please follow our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at We Make It Happen podcast.
Have we also got a Facebook? Did we get a Facebook?
No, sorry, no. I thought Facebook was dead, but you've actually told me that it's not. So,
Instagram
actually,
is. We have got a Facebook.
I do have a Facebook. Sorry,
You do have a Facebook.
It's so dead. I forgot that I even created one.
If you're a Facebook fan, you're not dead. Don't worry, we love you.
No, they're not dead, but I thought Facebook itself was. But anyway, yes. So We Make It Happen podcast. It's all of them is the same handle. I think with Facebook though you have to search it because I couldn't figure out how to put a handle in.
//
No. I mean, I couldn't figure out how to change the setting to.
Oh, I can tell you how to do that.
All right, cool. We can do that off air. And if you've got any thoughts, like we say, email we make it happen podcast@gmail.com. We'd love you to know your thoughts.
If you're also listening or watching on Spotify or YouTube, then review really helps. I think this is what I've heard on the other podcasts I listen to. So if you can do that for us, review, comment, then that would really help us with our ratings. Subscribe.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, we're going to end it there. Love you guys lots.
Lots of love. Ciao.
See ya.
Bye.